Hello and welcome to Business Reporter. I'm Alistair Green and today we're going to be talking about how standards can improve the consumer experience. Good morning.
Good morning, Alistair.
So is multi-channel retail a burden or an opportunity for the retail industry?
I think it's both. I think now the consumer is firmly in charge and they expect a seamless experience wherever they buy and however they buy. I think as an opportunity, you can sell anything to anyone, anywhere. So it's a massive opportunity for the industry.
Okay, well, first of all, you said seamless. So can you explain what you mean by that?
Say maybe you're a John Lewis customer. The way that you search, the way that you buy, go into a store or collect or have a drop-off point, you expect that to be a seamless experience. And whether you buy online or at a local store or at a much bigger store, you do not expect to pay a different price. And yet the cost to serve in those examples is far different.
And what about the upside you were talking about?
Well, the upside, of course, now you're not restricted to where your stores are. You're not reliant on people coming through your doors. So you can reach out and sell to anyone in your town, in your country, and even across the world. And also from a range point of view, you can extend your range to infinity, and you don't have to worry about even it coming through your own supply chain. So that the opportunity there is fantastic. And if you're a small player and you're very niche and you know what you're doing, you can start competing with some of the big guys.
So if you had to name three specific obstacles that the industry must overcome to make the most of those upsides, what would they be?
I would say it would all be about the supply chain, the logistics. I would say it's all around data quality, and I would say it's around all the systems.
Of course, you've talked about delivery there, but what about returns? I mean, sometimes I have to take things back because they're not right.
Well, I'll give you an example of Black Friday. A high street apparel retailer did a marvellous job of servicing every demand. The website stayed up. They were sold things for collection in store, delivery, and delivery in actually collection in other stores that are part of the same group. Fantastic. A few days later, though, they all started to come back. But unlike in the 5 years ago, they all came back to the same store. No, they didn't. They came back by lots of different means: drop-off, postal services, couriers. Now, all of that stuff was in the wrong place. So it all had to be re-identified and then get back onto the shelves. That was made extremely complex by the different standards that the carriers used. And in fact, there's a lot of stock left in the store that year.
The thing with standards is that every member of the delivery chain, the supply chain, likes to think that they're unique, they're different. How can you make them follow these standards? Because there must be some resistance to it.
Well, I think there isn't a resistance. I think where the industry really likes to compete and should focus its competition is on the products they sell, the price that they sell, the experience, whether you're in a store, online, and that's where we're very good at competition. But we don't want to compete on things like the scanning through a till or the logistics chain from manufacturers to multiple retailers. That just adds cost to the supply chain. The easiest one to recognise is that barcode that we invented 40 years ago. It was a complete industry got together and said, you know what, we want to identify our products the same wherever they are in the world so that we can all use the same equipment and it frees up the supply chain. And if we hadn't done that, every retailer, every manufacturer would have had to have different product for different retailers, and the cost would have been borne through to the industry and through to the consumer.
So do you have any recent examples of standards that have been adopted that have actually benefited the retail industry?
Yeah, well, I think the general one is the cross-border trade. More and more stuff comes over the border now, and we invent this global language of business to enable that. It really helps that happen. But if I think of something specific, concessions management. Tesco, they're going to start selling Arcadia brands, Topshop, Miss Selfridge, in their stores alongside their F&F. It's fantastic news for the consumer. But if they all use different standards for identification and they're all using RFID tags now, if they had two different scales, that would have been so much harder to do. So the fact that the identification and the movement is standardised, it's going to be an easier job for those two organisations to work together.
And what happens if they don't adopt these standards?
Well, I just think we'll see the cost to serve escalate. I think that manufacturers and retailers will start losing customers because they will not be as competitive as the rest. I think for the consumer, well, it means you don't get the product at all, or if you get the product, you order a red shoe and you get blue shoes. And I think in the worst case is you've ordered a product that you think is gluten-free and it's not, and there's some harm done.
Let's look at GS1. Where exactly do you fit into all of this?
Okay, so GS1's been around 40 years, and we're not-for-profit and owned by the 29,000 UK members, most of whom are very small companies. We are experts in our field. Most of our people are ex-industry, and our job, besides at core standards making, is to facilitate the industry to collaborate on all the examples that I've given you. In fact, we have several meeting rooms in our offices in London, not far from here, and I'm happiest when they're full of competitors, demand and supply chain, working on something new. In the GS1 UK, we're part of 112 not-for-profit independent organisations, so everything we do in the UK is guaranteed to be global as well.
Now, you talked about changing consumer patterns. You've also talked about this collaboration. What about the future? What do you see? What are the trends?
Well, I think now, of course, the obvious one is the world is now in our pockets, and we've not got phones, we've got mobile computers. I think wearables have a future, and I think this is all exciting, and retailers are working out how to use these devices to help you shop. I think the Internet of Things is a very theoretical thing about 10 years ago, but now how many things do you buy in the store that are internet enabled? It's fantastic. And I think the last one I say is beacon technology. So when you walk into a store, you immediately connect to the Wi-Fi. It knows my name's Gary. I've said, look, I'd like to be sent offers, please. So it says, oh, Gary, that particular brand of whiskey that you like is on sale and it's 50% off. I wish. So you go and you buy your whiskey, and as you turn up to the counter, a coupon is sent to your phone that says, here, I want my discount on my whiskey. I scan the coupon and I walk through a very happy man. So these things are now pretty close and to becoming everyday.
Well, it's certainly a very exciting future for both the consumer and the retail industry. Gary Lynch from GS1 UK, thank you very much.
You're most welcome.